Got to feel good to get that start. Talk a little bit about the match.
I think I came out. My focus was just to serve well, take kind of just manage my service games because I felt like I would get chances on his serve, and then I'd have to take them. And it was just a weird match because the ankle or foot injury or issue he had in the beginning, and then after that, figuring out like, because sometimes he'd move really well, sometimes he wouldn't, sometimes he would just double fall, sometimes he hit an ace. So it was a lot just kind of focusing on myself and trying to keep my level consistent and focus on what I needed to do and not think so much of, oh my God. It's never happened before.
Also, it is at least.
um, and it was just I had to focus on me and not so much what he's doing or thinking about what he's doing. So yeah, it was just a strange match, I'd say.
Yeah, how do you feel to be playing well in Southern California?
Really good. I always think I play well here. This is where I'm from. I've played in Indian Wells since I was like 8 years old. Probably I've come down here for tournaments. Just being San Diego, being from San Diego my whole life, and having a lot of family that lives out here in the desert. It's like a second home to me, and I've been telling everyone this week, like, man, I think I'm playing my best tennis ever this week. So it's been going really well in practice, and I just hope that I can kind of just bring that onto the court in my next match.
So it was a weird match. That sounds like a very typical fair match. Is that something you were prepared for going in? What do you do to kind of get ready for something like that is really unpredictable?
Yeah, I knew something like this could happen. Never played him before, but I knew that maybe if I could get up, it'd be really important for me to stay focused, not let him back in the match because sometimes he can just go away from what I've heard. And then after the injury, I just didn't know what to expect. So like I said, I just needed to focus on myself, just act like nothing was wrong, just play my own tennis and not worry so much about what he was doing.
Quite a lot of very important things have happened in your life in the past few months. How are you managing to arrange your time and your focus between your on-court commitments and your off-court life?
Nothing's really changed at all for me. My wife's been handling everything. She handles all the off court stuff, so I can be on court more than I was before. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I get breakfast. I drive to Carson where I train. I practice about 2.5 hours. Get lunch. Practice another 2 hours. Go to the gym. Some days I go to physical therapy to get some work done, and then I'll be home at like 9 o'clock at night, and I go to sleep. Um, you know, my life really hasn't changed too much because of how my wife has really stepped up, and she's really just doing everything she can for me and for my tennis.
Taylor, along the same lines, how's the dynamic changed though with you and your peers? I mean, most other 19, 20-year-olds are not, fathers and husbands at this stage as they're trying to rise, make their way up on the tour. So what is that like with your peers and just in terms of your own learning curve?
I mean, nothing's really changed, to be honest. I feel like everything's the way it was before with all the other guys that are my age, and people can think that maybe I'm spending less time on the tennis court or less time in the gym, and that's perfectly fine because I'm sure that'll come back to get them if they're underestimating the training and the work that I'm putting in. So really, nothing's really changed that much. Not anywhere near what people are thinking.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Taylor, given that today was an unusual match, what, if anything, did you learn from this experience, and was there anything that you surprised yourself with?
I just needed to focus, like I said already, I just really needed to focus on my game, serving well, especially once I got that first break. the break in the first and the break in the second, I just told myself, okay, like just hold serve, focus on your game, make him beat you. Don't, I just had to stay mentally strong and not give it to him, and that's what I was able to do.
Do you have a full-time strength and conditioning coach, and how important do you think your physical conditioning is right now?
I do have a full-time strength and conditioning coach with the USTA, Rodney Marshall, and also I get help when he's not around. He sends the workout plans, so I'm always staying on top of it. And I also have a full-time physio that I've hired to take care of the recovery after the fitness, and I think it's just as important as the tennis, especially for me, because as a 19-year-old on tour, as a teenager on tour, most of the time you're not as developed as the other guys on tour who are just full-grown men, so being physically fit and being able to compete at their level is really important at my age, and something that I've been working really hard on, spending a lot of time in the gym trying to get stronger.
This is a multi-part question, but your dad helped get Coco Vandeweghe started, and of course he's done a great job with you. Can you talk about your dad and what kind of a coach he is, but also have you had a chance to talk a little bit to Coco since she made her run to the semifinals of the Australian Open?
I'll start out with the easy one. I have not gotten a chance to talk to Coco yet. I haven't talked to her much about the anything in Australia, so that's that one there. I really haven't seen her much at all, actually, but that's that one. And then the second one was my dad is obviously an amazing coach. He completely developed both of our games from the start to when we basically turned pro. I'd say he's a coach that's pretty tough. He's not easy to give a compliment. He really tells you how it is, which annoyed me at times because I'd want some confidence and he'd just be like, no. It's really tough to get a compliment out of him. And he's, I'd say, also a bit old-fashioned with the way he sees like fitness and tennis and managing and schedules, but obviously he's a great coach. He is a great service coach. You look at both of our games, we both have serves as a huge focal point in our game, and he's been able to help a lot of people with his serve, with their serves in the past, and he's just a guy that loves the game and wants to help people who he thinks can be good. He's pretty selective with who he picks. Obviously, I made the cut because I'm his son. So, but yeah.
But you get Cilic next. Thoughts on that match? I don't know if you see yourself at all being a similar sort of build to him. If you ever looked at him as the player you can model yourself off after anything like that.
I mean, we do have similar type games. We're both pretty serve dependent. We're both I'd say pretty solid off of both sides and play aggressive baseline tennis. So I'm going to need to be focusing on the key parts of my game, which is the serve and the just staying aggressive, attacking, but not giving him too many free points. And if I do that, I'll definitely be in the match. If I'm serving well, I'll be in any match. So that's the play, and hopefully I can create chances on his serve. And it's going to be one of those matches where I'm going to have to just control my service games. Then when I get the chances on his serve, I need to take them.
Last question.
Just talk a little bit more about your dad. You said he was old-fashioned in terms of fitness and managing schedules. And also, when he wouldn't give you the soft compliment, did that piss you off? How'd you deal with that, or did that help you grow?
I mean, tennis is a lot of confidence, in my opinion. So I always wanted someone who was going to just, make me think I'm the best player ever, even if I'm not. Someone who's just going to fill me up with compliments, tell me how good I am. But I always wanted his approval. I still want his approval, even though we don't even work together anymore. I called him up the other day because I thought I was hitting really great, and I was like, hey, come over, watch me hit. And he wasn't he wasn't as thrilled as I was, I guess, with how I was hitting. But I'm sure he's happy to see me win here, and I'm sure he's happy to see me playing good tennis, even if he doesn't want to tell me. And old-fashioned wise, I would just say, like, with like fitness and off-court stuff, he always just told me like, oh, go do your push-ups, go do your chin-ups, like just run some sprints, like simple stuff. And I'd be like, hey, like I need a fitness trainer if you want to like get me in shape. He's like, no, you can just do that yourself.
Last one, yeah.
Taylor, just getting back to the father aspect, I mean, you were just explaining that you're up at 7 in the morning with training and practice and all that and going to bed at 9. How hands-on are you, and what's the biggest discovery you've had as being a father? And as continuing on that, you're just also saying about your father, how demanding or complimentary would you be with your child if he decides to pick up tennis?
When you said hands-on, do you mean like how much, what do you mean by how hands-on?
Everything from bathing to changing diapers or whatever.
If that's, I'm not very hands-on at all then, to be honest. Like I said, Raquel's, she's really stepped up and she's just doing an incredible job because my dream is to just be the best tennis player I can possibly be, and I'm very fortunate to be with someone who shares the same dream as I do, and she wants that more than anything, so she's willing to sacrifice her time and do whatever it takes so I can stay with my training and I can do everything exactly how I want to do it, and still, you know, when it's all said and done, I'll know that if my tennis career doesn't turn out the way I want it to be, then I'll know that it's on me and not anywhere else. So I'm just really lucky, and I try to see him as much as I possibly can. Obviously, it's amazing. It's really amazing. He's here. Any chance I get, I go and see him, and I'd love for him to play tennis. I have a little, like 4 or 5 inch tennis racket that I always put in his hands. You know, I'll be an accepting father, whatever he wants to do. Even though I personally, my life revolves around sports, so I'd like him to go in sports, and obviously tennis is in his genes, I guess. So. Yeah, I guess that's it.